Hello everyone, Rorius here. I loaded the save that we made last time for Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Developer Commentary, and Kleiner seems to be just talking straight off the bat.
They're onto us.
So,
Better find Barney and get moving.
yeah, I'll have to dull that down in editing because it was just going. I loaded and I waited for a bit to see if he'd shut up, but no. He keeps going. He's on a loop until you walk in here. Okay, so let's have a listen to this.
We wanted players to realize that they've been spotted and the Combine are now aware of their arrival at the train station.
Yeah.
It sounds like a simple task, but it actually took a lot of thought to draw the player's attention to the various events that communicate this message. First, a train horn sounds, which gives Alex an opportunity to mention that the station is in sight. Next, the lights go off to grab the player's attention and to make the monitors stand out in the dark. At this point, the player should be looking at one of the monitors, so finally, the Kleiner transmission is interrupted briefly by a Combine advisor. Originally, the advisor appeared on a Jumbotron outside, but we were never able to reliably make playtesters look at it. The flashing Combine camera should also provide some indication that trouble is brewing. Though it's not a proper gate, the zombie draped over the exit is designed to slow the player down just long enough for Alex to finish her lines.
Right, I see. Yeah, see that all that kind of stuff, putting little barriers like that is really important for getting dialogue stuff. Like you'll see it in some games if it's not well done, the players, the people like Alex will be talking over themselves. Yeah. It's not the best. But yeah, so we have this guy that spots us and alerts. This button, yep. Alerts the Combine to our presence. Bested.
There you are.
Oh.
I wondered if you were gonna make it in time.
Sorry to keep you waiting. The Combine's on our tail. What's the plan?
I'm sending folks out in groups.
What's with
Like
this
I said
angle?
Before, if you can keep them safe and provide cover, we might actually stand a chance of reaching the escape trains.
Sounds good. Send out the first group.
Here we go.
Okay, before you do that, well, I'll wait for them to come out and say their spiel because they'll start. Yeah, they'll say all this kind of stuff. Dr. Freeman, I'm coming with you, kind of stuff. And then we'll listen to this.
Originally, Barney started off in this map in the doorway down by the citizens, but playtesters tended to wander around for a while before stumbling across him. We moved him up here to guarantee that his scene with Alex would unfold before players began any exploration. He's standing over a dead Metro cop because it's a plausible-looking long-term activity, in case players don't move directly down to him. Nearby
Right.
reward items also tend to draw players toward him.
Well, I always get drawn to this, and then I just hear his voice, and I'm like, where is he coming from? I never actually knew he was standing over here. Because, as he said, I'm always drawn to these things. I don't know if that's very effective. But let's read that one down there. Oh, I just realized I have my crosshair off. There we go. I accidentally had it off because of taking a photo the other day.
Here we wanted to include something a little different, an escort mission. Most of our gameplay involves constant forward motion, so we wanted to design a situation where players would fight through the same basic area multiple times. This temporary backtracking would create a series of encounters where players had a full tactical awareness of their surroundings. Once again, all of this turned out to be more easily said than done, and the sequence went through a lot of iterations. Originally, the train yard was one big space. This approach had a couple of problems. Since players had a constant unbroken view of the entire area, it was virtually impossible to maneuver enemies into position for stage combat events, and because they could always see the goal, players didn't get much of a sense that they were leading citizens somewhere the citizens couldn't get to on their own. Ultimately, we broke the environment into two different spaces, a parking lot and a maintenance building. Because neither area can be seen from the other, we're able to repopulate the spaces with new, more deadly combinations of enemies while the player isn't looking. It also makes the journey feel lengthier and more significant.
Right, yeah. And while I agree that those things, what he said is, yep, they're perfectly valid and useful additions to make this better, I disagree that that this is actually a good part of this is my least favorite part of, other than that one elevator earlier on. This is my absolute least favorite part of the entire game. just because of the whole, as he said, like they're repeating the same area multiple times. It's fine to have reusable spaces. It's like whenever they talk, as soon as you say escort mission, you immediately know that you're gonna piss someone off. Unfortunately, I was one of those people that got annoyed by this.
We wrestled with the problem of plausibly repopulating this area with soldiers between each trip. After several iterations, we decided to have the soldiers jump in through some high windows. This solution has several advantages beyond maintaining incredible fiction. It makes the incoming enemies more immediately visible, and, since the windows are unreachable from the ground, players aren't able to exit through them. Plus,
Right, yeah.
leaping soldiers turn into tumbling ragdolls when shot, which is always entertaining.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like the addition of that. You know, it's that's sort of adding to the functionality of it. I guess that's fine. That's perfectly fine and good. Good additions. Okay, so this first iteration of this, that was all the nodes, by the way. There's no more nodes apparently. This first iteration of this section is very simple. You know, you just wander over here, and they. Oh, okay. Oh no, I have to go the full way. Okay. Oh. Yeah, you go the full way in, and you bring these people with you.
Well, that wasn't so hard. We should have brought everyone over at once.
That kind of thing, that just furthers my annoyance, sorry. Because it's like, yeah, if you had just taken all of them at once, if you
Go
had,
back and get another group. I'll stay here and guard the gate.
if you, drops the gun. Get on the damn gun.
Go get more citizens, Gordon.
Yeah, as long as you grab that, yes, good. For people who know this already, you know, have already played it, this just feels like in a lot of areas, if you already know the way you're going, if you already know the solution, you can shortcut the game, you know, you can shortcut the section. But because you're forced to take only a few people at a time, and you know, there's no way to speed up this kind of movement. Very infuriating. At least they give you infinite rockets, I guess. Make it feel a little bit better.
Okay, run this group of citizens over to the train.
And they don't learn from that. They don't try and take all the rest of them along all at the same time. Instead, they continue this 4 at a time thing going on. But I'm pretty well convinced that it's because you can only have four citizens following Gordon at any one time. Oopsies. Damn it. No, you bastards. Or has only 2 coming this time? Hey? Why are there only 2? I thought you got 4 every time. Damn. Where's the other 2? Did they die or something? Because they can die. I think. Just come with me. Just get in here. Yeah, okay. I'm not doing this very elegantly, but that's okay. We can just take these guys over here, and they'll just wander in. You just have to bring them here, and then they'll wander in.
That was a close one.
Come on. No, come this way, you idiot.
We've got you covered.
There we go. Okay. So, I'll probably cut a lot of this out because it's just repetitive back and forth. I will skip to when it's interesting.
hectic ass kicking, Doc.
There we go. We got 4 more people. Just come straight this way. Don't mess around with the combine. Just come with me. Come on. Treating them like an animal. Yeah, it's something you can't avoid. This always gets knocked down. Which means you have to go... Whoops, my bad. Up here. I think they started trying to move this way, but because I was moving a different way, they got all confused. Oh. No, wrong button. You gotta hop down here, and then they'll hop down with you.
Keep your heads down. Hurry up, people.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna leave you to kill those guys. This is what I end up doing most of the time. I just sprint through. Did I have a chance to fire back? Yeah, this is one of the few times you get to fight one of these on foot. So often you were either in a vehicle or you had something else attack this. There we go. Dealt with. Now where's the combine? There he is. Yeah, so because they give you this, you can just use this most of the time. This is what I usually do.
That's the Gordon Freeman I know.
Oh, that's right. It's one of these. Take that. Yeah, eventually once you have all of them. Oh god. Once you have all of the people here, Alex will...
Go for another group.
Yeah. She'll tell you that they're done, basically. And that's another thing that bothered me, is that you don't know how many times you have to do it. You don't know how many people there are. Okay.
To the trains, people. We'll make sure you get there safe and
Yeah, that's right. This last time Barney comes with you because it's the final run. Sure you want to keep fighting? Come on. Just the 3 of you? Okay. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Alex just like lets go of the turret in a second once these 2 come up here. Cool. There we go. Come on. Keep moving. Yeah. And then Alex closes the door behind us. See if...
Keep them off our backs for a while.
It really isn't that bad. It's just, I dislike repetition like that. I dislike having to repeat the same action over and over again for no real reason. Like, for instance...
Go on, Barney. They're not after you. Gordon and I will draw their attention while you get the others away from here. We can grab another train once you're clear.
Okay then. Don't take too long about it, yeah?
Here, let's open up this next track.
Yeah, if, for instance, you were able to choose how many people you brought each time, so there was a gamble between survivability and, you know, keeping the survivors alive.
Move on.
Yeah, shush. I'm gonna quickly save it here, just in case I want to come back and get a snapshot of something. But, yeah, if you were able to choose how many people you brought with you...
Bye, Barney. Good luck.
Yeah, this is the last time we see Barney. See you when I see you, he says. Yeah. What the? Barney didn't move for a second there. The train started moving and he just slid. Okay. Now that they're gone.
We needed a train station, but we didn't want something that was too similar to the one in Half-Life 2. We decided to give this station a more industrial look to make it a place where trains were repaired and freight was offloaded. We included some Combine elements to help explain why the Strider can't fire through the various strategic barricades required by the game design.
Right, right. Yeah, I actually quite like this section. For the most part, sorry. I mostly like this part. I like the little Nova Prospect as well, actually. I never noticed that before. This one leads to Nova Prospect as well.
Head start on the next train. No time to lose.
Right, before I pull this...
We separate Alex from the player here to make the Strider battle a more intimate combat experience. While we generally want Alex to be useful to the player, bosses tend to require a specific combat style to beat, and we found that it usually doesn't make gameplay sense to keep her around. Plus, boss battles are the player's big hero moments, and having too much help dilutes a sense of individual accomplishment. Alex more or less sits out all of our boss encounters.
Yeah, yeah. God, she was just non-stop nagging.
Something holding you up?
Yes. I thought they removed all the nagging stuff. Yeah, basically the Strider comes along and breaks the door, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. But he also provides a way through for you, because that's the kind of random luck stuff that exists in this section.
For this,
I don't know if that's even audible. I may have to just layer over the actual dialogue on top of the video, because I don't know if the music's gonna stop, because it's a boss fight, you know. Okay. Can't remember how this goes now. But I'm going to turn that back on just quickly. Oh damn it, there's so many of these nodes. Okay. Okay, in case it wasn't audible, I'll play these commentary nodes again.
for this climactic battle, we created a new AI that makes the Strider a more interesting opponent. It has a snappier cannon attack, can better track the player's movements, and it now has the ability to target the environment in dangerous ways. For instance, its cannon fire can shove heavy shipping containers straight into the player.
Yeah, we nearly saw that a second ago, actually. Now we'll listen to this one.
This shipping container used to be accessible only after the player destroyed a padlock. Given the amount of stress during this part of the game, even a simple puzzle, in this case, destroying a lock, would be completely missed by the player. In the end, we felt like the arena we had built for the player to fight the Strider was fun enough without this added element, so we removed it.
Yeah, so because it was just too much of a cluster of having a lock puzzle like that and having the tense, Strider battle thing. I think players could have handled it, but whatever, it's what they decided to do.
We often use goodies, such as this crate and the scanner battery around the corner, to guide players along a preset route.
Yeah.
We want players to hit their marks during a battle without drawing attention to the fact that they're being subtly manipulated down a particular path.
Right, yeah. So it's guiding the player down a preset path, making them think it feels dynamic. Yeah. Okay, so the rest of this boss, at least for now, is going to be in silence, with no music. But I will keep an eye out for the next node. That might have been the next node, actually, the one I just watched. Listened to, whatever. Purely because it was ahead of me. I just looked up at it. Ow. Well, not actually ow, but ow. Oh god, this is actually deploying. This was deploying. Ah. Okay. Yeah, so you're led to here and there's no visible way to go that way, so it's like these batteries here lead you along. Ow. I hate this Strider, this particular Strider actually, because I just remembered I hate this one because it seems to fire twice as fast as the other ones. Yeah, I might be mistaken about that, but it just feels like that. Okay, where's the next node? I know there's more. Oh, bastard. Luckily his aim is It's like a stormtrooper's aim. Okay. I think that's...
We wanted to keep the tension high in this fight, but we also realized the players would need some cover. These destructible panels satisfied both those design goals. Effectively, they're kind of shelters. Players can hide behind the panels, but the Strider will target them until they're destroyed.
Yeah.
This gives the players brief periods of safety, during which they can plan their next move.
Yeah. It's good that there are some permanent ones, though, as well. Because, sometimes when I stand up and then I sprint, he doesn't actually sprint. It's really frustrating. Ow! Jesus. So he attacks so fast. His shots are way faster than a normal Strider. That's a normal Strider attack. That's double. Yeah, that's like designed to push the player out of that space. Okay. Yeah. I can't listen to this now? Nope, okay. I forget what one we just watched. I think it was 7. Ow. I just walked straight into that. Yeah, this is more destructible stuff. Ow! See, it hits you so hard. It hits you... I remember when I played this on normal and on hard in the past, this guy is a real bastard, and there are many situations where you have to just go out and get hit. Like that, the second I'm in sight, I'm immediately being shot. Like how, I don't know how you're supposed to go up that ladder without getting shot. And he can shoot through, he can often shoot between these little bits because of the way they're positioned. Oh, I think that the section itself, the whole layout and everything, is good, but I think the many implementations of it are just poor. So I still like it generally as a whole, but there are aspects of it that I just despise.
We noticed during playtesting that players were often too afraid of the Strider's weapons to stand in front of it and fire rockets. This was kind of a problem, because rockets are virtually the only way to kill a Strider. To help players, we modified the Strider's AI so that a player-launched rocket will significantly delay the Strider's attack. This battle of reflexes lets players guide their missiles in safety, as long as they get their shot off before the Strider does.
I don't know if I like that implementation. I think I would prefer if it didn't attack so heavily aggressively, and it was more that you had to find the gaps in his attacks to attack, you know. Instead of making... Because like, I moved out of this cover for a half second, less than a half second, and he was firing on me as I climbed up the ladder. And so I just... that was ruthless, you know, brutal attacking. It would be better, in my opinion, if they instead made it so that when you stepped out, he didn't immediately shoot you. It took him a moment to catch where you were, and then he fires on you. I think that would be much better. Just from my own perspective.
Along with vistas, positive feedback from Alex is one of our primary means of rewarding players.
Right,
In this case, Alex's excitement over the Strider's destruction adds a sense of closure to the battle, and gives players the satisfaction that someone witnessed and appreciated their heroics.
The train the player rides out of City 17 had 2 major design goals. It had to visually connect the end of Episode 1 to the beginning of Episode 2, and it also needed to address the functional gameplay requirements of the second episode. Using reference material we collected on European train cars from the 1980s, we built a basic version of the train that level designers could test. Once we got the thumbs up from them, we added textures and lots of little details. The result is basically a caboose, combined with rounder, more streamlined elements from a passenger car.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it looks good. I like the design of these trains. Now, I know there's one more node behind the train there. I'm going to see if I can jump up here and listen to it before Alex comes out. Yeah.
Apart from being a big visual payoff to the episode, there were several story requirements that this ending sequence needed to convey. It had to make it very clear that the Citadel was destroyed, that the Citadel pods had escaped, and it needed to imply that the data transmission beam was streaming out of the ruins. We discovered that Alex had to be mostly silent during this scene, or else players tended to look at her instead of all the chaos around them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the best idea. But yeah, actually I don't need to, I was about to say, I was gonna go and collect these boxes and I suddenly thought, actually I don't need to do that, do I? I just need to end the video.
Fantastic job, Gordon. You're my new hero. Oh, I don't believe it. I think we're actually gonna make it out of here.
We are.
Right, now let's get the train moving.
I'm gonna remove my
Jump on,
HUD
Gordon,
items.
I'm right behind you.
Just remove my HUD items so that we can have a nice uninterrupted, well, except for that part of the HUD.
We did it, Gordon.
This way I can have a nice uninterrupted view.
Here we go. We did it, Gordon.
Didn't she just say that? It's weird. Whatever the case. Yay! Although... oh wow. Just completely static.
Oh my god, the transmission's going out.
Yeah. I might just quick save it, because this will be where I get my thumbnail from, so... yeah, so it's pretty, it's like, you get to see the pods flying out, you see all of the, like, beams of energy flying up to the portal up above that we saw a glimpse of in Half-Life 2. We go past the walls of City 17. While the pods fly past, we get pulses of this, to say that it's another advisor. And then we see the radiation, I guess? Yeah. Ends in quite a, sort of like a eerie ending. Unlike Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 1 for that matter, they end in sort of like this cool like music thing that you can like dance to. This one just ends in ambience. But yeah, that was episode 1. It was a lot smaller than in Half-Life 2, of course, and it's a lot smaller than episode 2 as well. Episode 2 is fairly long, but not, of course, as long as Half-Life 2. But yeah, so, the plan is that I'm going to have a very short break between episode 1 and episode 2, and in the middle of that, between that, I will add a different game, or I'm planning to add Duskworld. I think it's called Duskworld. Or just Dusk. I don't remember what it's called. Duskworld might be the multiplayer. Yeah, I'm going to play Dusk next for the channel. And then I'll return to episode 2 for the developer commentary after we complete Dusk. I don't know how long Dusk is. I might end up, adding Half-Life 2 episode 2 after, if we finish something else first, then I'll add that after that instead. But yeah, we'll see what happens. This was a short video, comparatively speaking. I think the previous one was quite long. This one, I've only been recording for 35 minutes, and that includes sections that I know that are just sort of blank, because I need to, cut them out and switch them around. So this will be a nice short one, for once. Yeah, and then there's another video coming out in half an hour. It will be... The Last Guardian. God, I really blanked for a second there. I was like, what the hell was I playing next? Yeah, The Last Guardian is going to be in half an hour, so come watch that if you're interested. I freaking love that game, so I'm going to be playing that right through, I believe. And there's some people who have commented, or someone commented on the last video with a comprehensive breakdown of some of the stuff you can do in that game. And I'll try and remember to implement that in a minute when I record it. But thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe. Oh, I said it already. When I say it at the start of the outro, it just ruins the end of the outro. Because it's... Thank you so much for watching, and as always,